Hi guys, so today I filmed a easy everyday makeup tutorial. This is not a version of the no makeup tutorial, or for me as I call it the mum makeup tutorial. That is completely different. For me, my mum makeup is usually just a little bit of eyeliner, mascara, lip balm. If I have any spots, which lately my skin has been acting up and I have no idea why, I would normally just conceal them and that's it. But if I want to put in that little bit of time, say 10 minutes, this is normally what I would do. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let's go ahead and get started in the video. I'm going to use the NYX Total Control foundation because it's probably the most natural one that I've got. I actually don't have a tinted moisturizer because I haven't found one that I think actually is worth using, because it doesn't give me enough coverage or it makes me too oily generally, because my skin is combination oily. I'm just going to use my fingers to apply this. I'm just going to rub this into the skin. I'm on days like this where I'm doing like a easy everyday makeup look, I don't use a brush or a sponge generally. I'll just use my fingers. For concealer, I'm going to try the e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer. It's the matte finish, and this is the shade Light Sand. I only got this a couple of days ago, so I've not used it before, so I don't know. Oh, that is white. Okay. I don't know how this is going to work, but anyway. It seems very, how can I say it? Very thick, to be honest, and a bit pasty, but I think it will work. I am going to have to even it out on the rest of my face because it's quite light. It might be okay when I blend it out. I'm going to use the Morphe blending sponge today, and I'm going to use the angle side. The colour actually looks like it might work. Very thick compared to the Makeup Revolution one that I've tried, and I also used to use the Maybelline one, and this seems really thick but extremely full coverage, which is something I like in a concealer. It doesn't feel like it's going to settle or anything like that. It actually feels quite nice. It doesn't feel heavy on the face. It's just a bit thick when it goes on. Now I'm just using the sponge with nothing left on it just to smooth over the rest of my face. Powders, I'm using the same thing I used in my last video, which is the Makeup Revolution to set my under eyes and the T-zone area, and then the Maybelline Fit Me powder to set the rest of my face. And I'll use the JH07 brush to do all of this. Like normally when I use the Makeup Revolution one, by this point I would normally get my little creases in there where when I raise my eyebrows up. I am not noticing that with this concealer, so far so good. I'm going to use the Australis Sweet Chocolate Bronzer. It's a scented bronzer, so it actually smells like chocolate. I had one of these a while ago. I used it up completely. The colour is really good. Bless you, honey! The colour is really nice. It's very neutral and it's light in tone. So if you're like me and you have light skin, this will be a good match for you. I'm not going to be contouring today. I'm just going to be bronzing. So I'm using the JH02 brush, which is the huge fluffy bronzer brush. Just going to tap a little bit in there, tap it off, and then I start at my hairline on my forehead. And it smells like chocolate. For blush, I'm going to use the Morphe 9B palette, which is quite an old palette they've had now, and it's a great palette. You can see I've already used quite a few of the shades, but today I'm just going to use this coral shade here. And I'm using the JH04 angled blush brush. I'm just doing a little bit, starting at the back and then bringing it forward once there's hardly anything left on my brush. For highlight, I'm going to use the Clinique Chubby Stick Highlight in number 1 Hefty Highlight. It's a stick form. I'm just going to use my middle finger and my ring finger to get it on there. And then I tap it on my cheekbones. And then bring some also on the apples of my cheeks. This part is optional, but as I said, I like to have that very highlighted look. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of powder highlight from Makeup Revolution. This palette, I actually don't know what it's called, but it's like gold. It doesn't have a name on it. and it has these 4 shades. I'm going to use this pinky shade here, and I'm going to use the JH09 highlighting brush. I'm only taking a very little bit and putting it on the apples of my cheeks going backwards. I just want that to be a little bit extra highlighted there so it has a nice glowing effect. For my eyes, I'm going to keep it super simple, and I'm working out of this palette. So this is a Z palette I got from Makeup Geek many years ago, and I filled it with some Makeup Geek shadows and some are Colourpop shadows, so it looks like this. I'm going to start off with this shade called Wake Up Call by Colourpop. Very nice neutral brown shade, and I'm using the JH30 brush. This is always the first brush I go in with. I'm just going to put this in my transition area, back and forth, and then round circular motions. I'm going to take this shade called Frappe by Makeup Geek. It's another deeper toned neutral brown, and I'm using the JH34 brush. And I'm just going to put this a little bit in my crease. This is just going to give a little bit more definition. There are some days where I even skip this step and I just do the transition shade and move forward. But today I just want to do that extra step, so you have the option of dialing it back if you want. Now I'm going back in with that original transition blending brush, and I'm just going to buff everything out. Now I'm going to use this shade here, which is called Let Me Explain by Colourpop. It's a really nice, very neutral champagne shade, and I'm going to put this all over the lid. Now this is a shimmer shade. This part is optional, but whenever I go in with shimmers, I always use Matte Fix Plus. It just takes that shimmer and makes it so much more vibrant. And then I'm just going on the lid. So you can see what a big difference that step makes. It just makes it so much more metallic and more vibrant than this other eye. I'm going back in with the JH34 just to blend out in the crease. I'm going to use the same Wake Up Call shade for my brow bone highlight. For the lower lash line, I'm going to use the JH38 pencil brush, and I'm going to use the Makeup Geek Frappe shade, and I'm just going to put this on the lower lash line all the way from inner to outer corner, back and forth. I'm going to line my waterline with the MAC Eye Color Definitely Black. And I'm just using the JH43 brush and just buffing that out. And I will go back in with that pencil brush with nothing on it and just make sure it's blended out again. So for mascara, I'm using the Maybelline Total Temptation mascara and the NYX Worth the Hype mascara. So I do one coat of the Maybelline, one coat of the NYX, and then one coat of the Maybelline again. I'm going to use the Maybelline one for my lower lash line. I'm just putting a little bit more of that Let Me Explain shade in the inner corner for an extra pop. MAC lipstick in Speedial. It's a really nice pink shade. Whenever I've got neutral eyes, I like to do a bit of a brighter lip instead of a nude lip. I'm adding a little bit of gloss. I'm using the Colourpop gloss in Around Midnight. It's a very nice baby pink shade.